listened to every single one of them, and I wrote down notes on every single commenter. This is not an easy time, and these decisions are not easy as well. This has been an evolving situation with the pandemic, and I certainly had hoped we wouldn't be at this spot, but I don't have a crystal ball that tells me what's coming next with the pandemic. So in absence of that, I consult with people who've got knowledge and information about this. I've talked to any pediatrician I can find, and they've all been unanimous. 100% of the pediatricians I've spoken to said you need to follow the guidance that is issued from the CDC and the state health department and our local health department. That's what you need to follow. I've said, boy, can we resist that? Because we don't want to go backwards on the progress that I feel we've made as a community. The goal is not to have masks forever, not at all. We're trying to create a bridge so that parents who choose to use a different mitigation strategy, that of vaccination, have that choice and ability to do that. That's where we're trying to get to. We think that may be a few months off, but I don't know that for certain. So we're trying to create that bridge. Our goal is to have in-person learning for every single one of our students every day. That's what we're trying to get to. And I've had several people say to me, and I've even talked to a few superintendents who I know out of state, in southern states, say, good luck with that goal if you're not going to do anything with this Delta variant. And what I hear from people who are tracking this, again, with greater expertise than me, is that this Delta variant is a real game changer in terms of the disruption that it brings and how quickly it spreads. I hope they're wrong. I hope we can look back and say that terrible Dan Behm, there was an overreach in what he did. But what I do not want to do is underestimate. When I have all the experts who I've consulted with in the medical field say, watch out for this. Again, I hope they're wrong, and I hope we don't have any big disruption. But what we're trying to do is to take some mitigation steps to reduce the chances of that. I know many people here who spoke tonight disagree with that sentiment. Some feel that the steps we've taken aren't far enough. I heard all of those comments. One of the big things I'm trying to do is to rally around our kids and our families who haven't been able to send their kids to school for 17 months. When we come together, great things can happen. This is an outstanding community. You all work extremely hard to lift one another up, to help people who are struggling and need help. So a big goal of what I'm trying to achieve is a pathway for kids who have health issues, but they desperately want to come to school. Desperately. And I get it. Many of you desperately do not want to have your kids in masks in school. I get that. I hear that. I understand that. That's not a desire that I have. I feel like for the last 17 months I've been handed a playbook that says, here, pick the best of the bad options. It's not been any fun. The toll has been immense, but we're trying to do the best we can for our kids. That is what guides me. I take it very seriously. I realize there's a bunch of people that would love it if I'd just be gone tomorrow, but that won't solve this problem. If we can come together, if we can express, our time on this earth is but a nanosecond. If we can express love and consideration, I thank all the prayers. I recently got something that somebody said I was a Satanist. thank my pastor for being here tonight. I realize in a community of our size, it's hard to know people. It's hard to know me. It's hard to know what's in my heart. I'm just trying to do the best I can for kids. It's not easy. Trying to keep kids in school every day because I know the value of in-person learning. We're not perfect. We're trying to get better each and every day. Yeah, I don't like masks either. Trying to do lots of mask breaks, lots of time outside. Thank goodness we lots of times have good weather here in Michigan in the fall. Take advantage of that. Get to a point where we've got vaccine approval that's an option available for people. We will not mandate vaccines. We don't, we never have. If you don't want your kid vaccinated for all the different things, you sign the waiver. We've never mandated vaccines. I have no intention of doing that or asking anything to do that. That's a parent and family's personal decision. In terms of what someone's vaccine status is, I don't know and I don't care to know. No one's going to ask to see your papers. That soundbite sits good with a video of public comments, but that's not what we're doing. That'll get a lot of clicks, won't it? Get a lot of people riled up, but that's not what we're doing. Our long-term goal is we want all of our families to have the option so their kids can come to school every day and know that they're safe. And they've got a mitigation strategy. What we don't want to have happen is what I've been warned about, which is have a variant come in and then shut down classrooms, cause us to lose staff members for periods of time when we're at very thin margins with staffing in all of our areas, all of our departments. We want to keep school going. We want to create great memories for kids. There are some new state rules this year. Well, they're not really new. It's just that they're different than last year. And it's going back to what the typical rules have been. We have to schedule a minimum of 180 days of instruction and 1,098 hours of instruction. We then have to show that we have provided all of that with the ability to forgive 6 school days. They call them forgiven days in the statutes. Think of it as a snow day. That's essentially what they are most of the time. And every single day we have to certify that 75% of our students have been in attendance. If we fall short of that, we have to add days. Last year, all those provisions were waived. We didn't have to do that. So we don't want to be closing down schools at all. We're trying to avoid any of it. I know many of you have got all sorts of specific questions. I'm trying to let you know what is going through my head and my heart on this. I've got 2 daughters myself, 4th grade and 6th grade. So, if someone's got the certainty playbook, I'd love to see it. Trying to do the best I can with that. We work closely with the health department. That's what they're there for. That's what we've got set up as a system in our state, as most states do. As you know, public health issues are issues that are delegated to the states under our federalist system. And each state has to carve out its own rules. We have a public health code. That public health code is a whole bunch of laws stacked together that have been in the books for decades. And it provides the director of the state health department and the county public health officers a lot of authority. And when we haven't seen that authority exercised in decades, it can feel unsettling. I'm not looking to jump on that bandwagon. Trying to make the best decisions we can with the information that we have. And trying to get ourselves back to a normal school environment as soon as possible. That's my fervent desire. This is an evolving situation, and we will want to look at the data, and we'll want to continue to track that. I know many people asked about what data are we looking at now. It's not so much that we've got tons of cases right now. We want to avoid that situation so we can keep our kids in school. We don't have to make up days. We can get to what hopefully is weeks or just a few months to where vaccines are available for all families to choose that if they so choose. Again, I'm not interested in anyone's vaccination status. I don't have access to the information. I don't seek that information. We all just need to pull together as a community and do our best. Parents have a huge role to play. You are your children's first teachers. And parents, that is 100% your space on what to do with your own child's health and vaccination, and that's not anything the school has an interest in.
Don't mandate masks. But you did by mandating masks.
I know many people are looking for additional specifics, and we're trying to work with this evolving situation and stay up with those specifics as quickly as we can. So we'll continue to communicate out additional information as we go. I'd like to say a huge thank you to our bus drivers and our transportation team and staff. We have many of them here tonight. I also know that we've been working with our bus drivers all throughout the summer. One of the things that we've done the last couple of years, because benefits are important to everyone, is we've suspended that threshold rule about how many hours you need to work in order to get the benefits. We provided those to our drivers for the last 2 years. We want to look and have just offered a new contract that would reduce that threshold as well, so that drivers don't have to pick up extra duties in order to receive those benefits. We've also looked at our COVID federal dollars to provide an increase in wages for our bus drivers. They're doing really tough work, and I'm very grateful for everything that they do. And the whole team that's here. It's great to be in this space here tonight. I want to say a special word of thanks also to our custodial maintenance team. Jeff, I see you back there. Thank you. I know your morning starts early. And thanks for all the work they've done all throughout our schools this summer. Lots of construction going on in several of our schools and renovation. And all of our maintenance folks and our grounds people that try to keep everything in condition that we're ready to bring students back to school next week. I know there are several questions that people have, and I'm not going to go through every one of those tonight in my response. But what I will do is figure out what additional information we can pull together and provide that to all of you I know I talked to the health department today. This is an evolving situation for them. And they were very clear in saying that they have not issued their final words on what it is they expect schools to be doing among other aspects in our economy as well. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate the involvement of people being here tonight. And we will continue to keep our nose to the grindstone, continue to work hard, and continue to provide the best possible education we can for our kids. They deserve it. And I want to get, again, all kids into our schools. Those kids who've been out and haven't been able to come because of their own health issues. I know none of this is easy, but what I'd really like to be able to do is to rally around those kids and make sure we can have a great school year for them as well in person. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Superintendent Behm? And I will ask if any of you have any
Should
board
have a bunch.
communication you would like to share this evening.
Yes, I have Foundation News. So one of the quotes